Okay, today is, I believe it's Thursday, December 28th, 2017, and I just got back from my little coffee gathering, and it is 12:40 p.m. We are showing approximately 15 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 48 degrees in here. Stable at 13.3 volt. So that's the update for today. Kind of an easy day. It's cold though. It's cold out. What I'm going to do though is I am going to attempt to put this in the truck today. Alright, now this doesn't go with it naturally. That's just holding it upright so I can kind of see what I'm doing. I just have to hook up this little wire here to this little switch here, and that's that. And then I can get that in the van. Even if I don't get it all hooked up, at least it's in the van and it's out of here. Like I said, yeah, I know I was boring you guys with this, but this is like a one-day project that turned into a 10-day project. Because you know, it sits, I do, it sits, I do, I did, I don't. It's cold out, I don't want to put in the van. You know what? I just got to do what I got to do. That's all there is to it. So that's where we're at. But by sitting here, I'm kind of glad that it has, because it gave me an opportunity to figure a few things out, because a new radio is coming out, which I had mentioned before, and that I'm probably going to buy it. So it saved me a lot of work, because when I buy the other radio, this radio was going to be replaced and put in the truck, which means I'd have to take this all out again in order to put that radio in. So by it taking the time that it took, it at that point allowed me to get this in here now and save it later, because of the new radio is going to be coming out, which is the ICOM IC9700. Meanwhile, I can always use a handheld out here if I need it until that is on the market. So that's where we're at, guys. That's where we're at. So I'm going to have my coffee, and I am going to hook up that little wire real quick. So it's going to take me longer to have my coffee than it would be to hook up that wire. And then I'm going to go out to the van, make room for it, go through all my wiring, because I can do most of this, I think, while I'm in the van with the heat running. And I'm going to start the van up, and then I'm going to come back in here, have another cup of coffee, give the van a chance to warm up a little bit, and then at that point, I'm ready to rock. Alright, that's it, guys. Alright, well, the truck's running, and while that's been running, warming up out there now for the last half hour, I probably burnt I don't know how much fuel at this point. I'm just kind of finishing off. I wanted a way of holding these wires in place, and I didn't have enough room underneath to put a nut and bolt through it because of the distance, the clearance, and I didn't want to have to take all this out again. So I stuck this plate under there so I wouldn't drill through anything. I drilled a hole, and I just tapped it, and I just put a screw in it, so now that holds that in place, so I don't have to worry about that. I do have a light hooked up under there. I'll show you that another time. Well, I could probably show it to you now if I want to hook up the wire here. Let's see. If I got a good ground. Let me see here real quick. I don't even know if I got a ground on this thing or not. Okay. Oh, there you go. Yeah, a little glow. Gives me just enough glow at night to light up these switches without blinding me. And because it's under, it's not going to be shining up at me either. So I got that installed. So I'm basically ready. I'm just going to take all these clamps off that are holding things together until everything dries, which it's all dry. Some epoxy here and there. So at that point, I'm going to take this and head out to the van. Alright, it is cold. I mean, even with the heat going in here, it's cold. So that's where it's going to be. Now, how is it going to be is another story. Do I want to tilt it a little bit? Do I want to raise it a little bit? So at that point, what do I want to do with it? So now I got to go out in the cold so I can get around into the door, so I can sit in the seat and get an idea. Alright, so here we are. So there it is. So the armrest is down, and I can see basically all the radios except for that one back there. I have to kind of turn a little bit to see. So I may want to bring it forward just a hair, but not enough to interfere with this totally. I don't want it too close though to where if I have coffee in here it's going to spill on it. So that's where we're at. My Garmin, my dash cam, my lights, more lights. I put a couple of those little beams up here and hooked them up to the switches that were already there, because the ones that were up there weren't really bright white. I still have the one in the center, but other than that I just hooked these up because they're also, I can move them around, and it's great for if I have to fill out any paperwork. Alright, I'm going to play with this. I'm going to need two hands to do it, so I got to leave you guys out of the picture for a few minutes. Alright, I moved it forward, so now when I'm sitting here with the armrest, I can look and see all the radios without any problems. I can see the buttons, so I know what I got to do as far as that goes. The buttons on this one I cannot see. That may be a bit of an issue, because those you may end up using every now and then. So what I was thinking of doing, because I had just held it up a little bit, if I bring it up about 3 inches in the back and about 1.5 inches or so in the front, or down here rather, I should, yeah, see, I can see those buttons a lot better now. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to lift this up just a hair, and at that point it'll give me a little bit better. Then I can't do it and have you guys see what I'm talking about. I don't think anyway. Let me see if I can chin the camera. Alright guys, here we go again. I'm having more problems out here today with this camera. This is where it's going to be, and I'll show you that in a minute. But what I had to do, if you noticed it or not, see how I cut it? This used to come all the way across even. And then I realized that I wasn't able to see these buttons up here, which I have to be able to see and get to easily. And with that being out there, I couldn't. So it was easier for me to put a piece of metal under there so I didn't hit the radio, a piece of tin all the way across. And I cut this all out with a grinder. And then I rounded the corners on it. And then I put the vacuum hose on it all. And that allows me now to see and get to the buttons without a problem, and without moving the radio out. Because what happens is you move the radio out. In order to do that, I'd have to take everything off and start all over again and move it out. Then once I start moving that radio out, then this one's going to be to where, let me turn around this way again. This one's going to be to where I'm not going to be able to see it. So it would have just snowballed. So by doing that, it took care of my problem. So, and then I put the vacuum line all the way around the edge, so I don't have to worry about getting cut. I can see both radios from here, and I think I said this before, I just don't know if it was recording. This is a 2M 440. Now this is just the head unit. The brain is here. But this brain is really, the brain I could have put anywhere. I don't have to see it. However, if I want to plug the computer into it, I plug in there, and there's an SD card here. So if I wanted to take a picture, this radio has an optional microphone with a camera built in, a good camera. You take a picture with the radio, save it to your SD card, then you can transmit it to another ham operator or transmit it to a home email or whatever you want to do at that point, depending on how you have everything hooked up. So you can save things to that card, as well as the memories. All my memory channels I can also save to that card as a backup. So that's where I'm at with that. Right? And then naturally these two I can see. The microphones I got to bring out here. That's a 2M, that's the ham, the HF unit. These are going to be the switches that'll be hooked up. And that's kind of where we're at. And that's how I think I'm going to leave it, just like it is, on a little bit of an angle. I like that angle. I can see everything, I can reach everything, and it's not in the way. And I still have room to put my round table right here and have my little computer up here. So I'll still have everything there that I need. So, all right, it's out of here. I just got to hook up some wires. So maybe half hour of work out there. Other than that, it's done. And Duffy come out to see me. There's Duffy. Hey Duff, I know what you want. I do. You want a treat. All right. So now I feel kind of naked with not having a radio right there. But you know what? I can live with it for now. I'm going to turn this one off. I'm going to get ready to start shutting down some of this stuff. And start cleaning some of this mess up now that the bench is somewhat back to being useful again. This doesn't belong here anymore. Let me put this back over here. Not like that anyway. There we go. And so we're kind of almost back to somewhat normal. Whatever normal is at this point. I got to remember this goes out to the truck because I can't hook up the radio without it. Put these two wires down here in a little wire box. Somewhere around here I got some vacuum light I got to keep. This little clear one, I don't need that. I got tons of it, but this I like to hang on to. I'll put that over there for now. This little connector, I just ordered a bunch more of these. I'm out of half. Not so much the blue ones, but I have no 3/8 for number 10. I'm empty. I'm running low on the green heat shrink and the yellow heat shrink, so I ordered some of those. That's about it. But meanwhile, this is kind of like where we're at. So, like I say, it's just a matter of cleaning things up a little bit now and trying to get things somewhat organized. So I'll throw everything back over on that counter. You know, my wife was telling me, you know, you move things from one counter to the other and you say, okay, you got it clean. But everything I had there would be someplace else. So one is clean. Then when I start cleaning that one, I end up moving things back over to another one. I tell you, yeah, but every time I do that move, I find a home for one more thing. So each time I make that move, I am lessening the crap by one item. Yeah, right. You know how it is, guys. It's never ending. So, meanwhile, it's 3 o'clock, and I think I'm just going to call it a day. I'm not even going to clean up. I'm just going to shut down and say to hell with it. And go in and spend some time with your wife. All right. Catch you guys later.